can go into the potential. Because I guess I would worry that if we apply for that and get it, there's potentially less chance that we get a park grant for Dallasport next year because we just got this one. So they're gonna say, oh, you just got one, you don't need another one. So there's maybe some bad side to it, but
Maybe it's a different pot of money, so
maybe not.
I don't know that it will have, I don't know, they ruled, it just depends. They wanted to pick who they wanted to pick. And this was a way to do that.
All right. Start off with Public Works Director Jeff Hunter. Public Works Road update.
Good.
Acting interim county engineer Sescarola. Go for it, guys.
Okay, we have a few things on your consent agenda. Concurrence to award the jail roofing contract in the amount of $435,375. That was right within our engineer's estimate. We only had one bid, but the one bid was good. Local agency consultant agreement, but it's in a supplement to expand the time and the dollars for Trejo, finish up some projects we have. Another one is concurrence to award Rock Creek Bridge to Panther and Industrial Painting LLC in the amount of $268,969. That's for the bridge painter on Rock Creek Bridge over Rock Creek on Old Highway 8. A notice to public contractor or notice of public hearing for the franchise agreement with the Vista Gas. We've already received a public records request requesting the franchise agreement information. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, we can get it to Lee and she could post it on the website.
Where's this going? Where's the location?
Countywide,
Oh, okay.
which most of franchise agreements are countywide. The only ones that typically aren't are the ones with the energy groups because they only care about getting the energy off there. But for gas and any of the other utilities, phone and all that, they're usually countywide. And this one is countywide. So we can do that, or we can do however the process. Again, he wants some other stuff. So on the public records request. Then we have an approval for small works contract with Oliver Floor Covering for Annex 4, and this is for the floor covering for once we move juvenile out and put mental health or get it before all the people from mental health move in. So we're replacing all the carpeting and BCT in the building.
Carpeting bad or just?
Carpeting's worn out. That's a road cost because it's a road building. So road's paying for that cost. And that's it. I'll turn it over to you for construction.
Morning Road, we have a pre-paved meeting scheduled for Thursday, the 1st of June, and tentatively start paving on Monday, June 5th. The annual striping project, striping continues this week on the west side of the county and the Dallasport area. They're nearing completion of the first phase of that contract. On design end, we do have the concurrence to award for Rock Creek Bridge on the consent agenda this afternoon. White plastic edge lines and slope flattening projects are currently on ad with bid opening dates on June 6th. Construction funding approval documents for curb warning signs and guideposts are still waiting WashDOT approval and permission to go to ad. We have proposals due this afternoon for our data collection project. Design funding approval paperwork for the Bickleton area paving project is waiting approval from WashDOT as well. And design work on Sundale and Old Highway 8 project. The right-of-way documents are being prepared, stormwater designed, and we're awaiting our approval from DAP on the archaeological report that we submitted. And design and permitting processes are ongoing for other maintenance projects, which include, snowplow turnaround and Bickleton Highway widening project.
Okay, Maintenance projects. On the east side, we're putting shoulders and culverts on East Road and grading. West side, we're patching in the Glenwood area and doing some grading. Upcoming facility events, we talked the other day and decision was made. So there's a sidewalk for Lot D, which is the Annex 1, or where Annex 1 was sitting, and the ramps in Lot B, which is where Annex 3 was sitting, are scheduled for August. The HVAC contracts are being put together with the caveat, we're going to see how it works in one of the rooms before we go forward. Health will be taken care of like we talked about on Thursday. HVAC and Pioneer Center will be this fall. Can't get the units until then. Jail roof replacement, the award is on the agenda today. Superior Court's the same. Dispatch basement upgrades, plumbing is complete. Ceiling grid and fire ceiling grid installation, fire suppression relocation is happening this week. So then we'll have that done. It's just a matter of doing the concrete polishing and a few other things, and that project will be wrapped up. Juvenile remodel floor covering is being put in as we speak. Annex 4 remodeling, like for health. We're meeting with Aaron later on this morning, and to discuss the floor covering is set, and just to finish up what walls are going to stay, what walls are going to be removed. Radio tower, we finally got a date. June 26th is when they're going to start installing the tower. Some follow-ups. Oregon Trail Rally was this weekend, went well. A lot of people attended. They were happy with the way everything went, and there's a little damage. They beat the heck out of a couple roads, but we put them back together. They pay for that, so that's not a cost to the taxpayers. Dallasport painting is to start at the end of May. From what I've talked to some of the members from the community council, they're going to start painting the last week of May, first week of June. They're going to paint the outside of the community center. We've gotten them the paint and everything. Mary Hill, there's no fairground events this week, but there is a Mary Hill Memorial Hill Climb this Saturday and Sunday where they go up and down the Mary Hill Loops Road. And we have a couple other things. Klickitat Mill site. We got an email from the superintendent over there. Some kid got out, went through the fence. Then they had to call the sheriff to go find the kid on the site. So I'm going to go up, try to schedule a meeting, see what he's talking about. But, we can only enclose the site so well.
Apparently there's a hole in the fence.
Yeah, supposedly there's a hole in the fence. I'll take a look at it.
We don't need a new fence. We just
No.
need some wire.
We'll just fix the hole in the
Sew back
fence.
together and be done.
Keeping in mind, you've both been on the tour, you can go right up, if
I
he
know.
runs up the side, he can go right underneath the fence we walked through and you're in. And we used to have a chain link fence there. We took it down because people were cutting it and driving it because it's too secluded back there. So that's why we put that gate up there and just get away with the fence. Because they could get in anyway, they can walk around the fence for that purpose. I mean, we can't fence the whole property. It's
Well, and if you got a runner, the runner's gonna run and find the hole.
yes,
But
we'll fix the hole.
legally wise, let's.
We'll fix
take
the hole.
back together.
Yes, we'll fix the hole. And then just waiting to see. I got some information from what they wanted. We, have dealt with Republic on that. So I'm not really sure where we're going next with the hand sanitizer disposal.
So I called Jeff King this morning to make sure he got that email because I would like to see his stock inventoried so that we can get a price to get it all gone in the same lot. And I think I included you in that email chain that they're willing to send somebody out here to do a on-site inspection. So told Jeff this morning that might be a good idea for him to facilitate that. So I would say
Do you want to be the contact? You want us? How do we want to?
No, it's you. I just
Okay.
want to make sure Jeff is in it
Okay,
and that they're doing everything they can to help us. And now I'm out.
okay, so we have all the stuff that they wanted. This
For
is
your
all,
stuff, but we don't
yes.
have it for Jeff's stuff.
no, I don't, that's Jeff's thing.
Yeah, and the kicker is this was kind of a little kick in the pants to get on it and get it all out in the same shipment, hopefully, so we're not paying shipping twice
Right,
is my
right.
worry. If we do it isn't so much the disposal, it's all that freight. And if then he turns around and does it in 3 months, we have freight all over again. We need to do it all in one load. So,
You still want the cheapest disposal.
which usually is one freight.
Right, right, exactly, because we have, like I said, we got it from Safety Clean and we got a price from Republic, basically.
Republic's
It's
offshoot,
US, whatever they call them.
Ecology or something.
Yeah, US Ecology. And our price from, but at that point in time, they weren't proposing to pick it up. So that is the change. So we'll see now. If they're proposing to pick it up, then we'll see. Because we were at the same price with Safety Clean as we were with US Ecology, and we had to deliver it. And I don't have anybody that has a hazmat.
Right.
Or I don't have a
That's-
vehicle either. so-
That's why I got involved to see if the price would come down.
Right, it,
Now
it-
I'm uninvolved.
yes, so if it's down there, if that price for 350 includes the pickup, then we're at the same place and I don't really care. It can go to them if they're, especially if they're able to handle Jeff King's stuff.
Right. So that's that's the only reason I was involved, to see if we can get a better deal than maybe you were getting offered.
No, that, and you might have done that.
And so that was the only reason I was involved in it. So
Okay,
I'm
'cause-
not involved in it
Okay.
anymore.
'Cause, yeah,
Hopefully
we
Jeff
can-
King will be stockpiling or reaching out to them to come take a look. So that we can get it all in the same shipment.
Yeah, because either one is the same for
Whatever's priced
pickup. No,
better.
no, I mean, for as far as how we have to package it, we talked to both of them. We're just gonna go get our 55-gallon drums with the sealable lid, and then it all just goes in there. So we know what we need because we've talked to both sides. We've talked to US Ecology too. So we can get all this stuff. So I can answer everything they want. It's that Jeff King.
Except for his information.
Right, I don't have his stuff.
Right.
Exactly. So, okay, I got clear direction there. And I don't think we have anything else, do we?
I think so.
I have a few.
Okay,
Rally race. The grading afterwards, you said is covered by them. What do you just grade and then submit them a bill afterwards? Kind of
Yes.
thing?
and they've been very good and they paid it every year.
I figured they would. I don't know that it's for us, but apparently they had a couple vehicles speeding through communities that weren't, as they race and then they go to the next spot and they race and they, in between that going to the next spot, there was some speeding through downtown Centerville.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
there was some complaints and law enforcement was called to try to get speeders. And apparently they were blowing the stop sign down on Dallas Mountain. If you could at least reach out to the rally race people.
we will.
And tell them to give a better job lecturing, or I'll
Mhm.
put speed traps out for them next year.
We will talk to them that they had some reports of speeding and they've been good partners.
As I said, I'm sure it's just one or two bad
Yeah.
eggs.
And,
But if they could figure out which are the bad eggs and not invite them again, that makes us happy and we get less
Exactly.
complaints.
no, we will definitely reach out to them. Yeah, we had some issues.
And then the last thing, and this might be before your time, I've been kind of harping on it for a few years. Ideally, I would still like landfill funds that go to public works to be credited off of that building. So I would like to come up with some purchase agreement scenario. So that whatever the price is for that building, every time we're giving you $500,000 or $1 million or whatever, it's deducting that price out. And we're almost at another budget cycle.
Yes,
Because it didn't happen last budget cycle or the budget cycle before that, but now we have a new director. So
we'll check and get
understand
the
I'm
price.
still thinking that's the way to go, because if we're giving you money, we might as well be buying the building. I mean, pros and cons to that, because.
There, yes,
because
definitely.
Then we would have to,
You would have
put it in
fitted the
carpet.
$40,000 carpet bill. So now we just raised the value of the building though.
yeah, yeah, so. That, I don't know that we're doing that, but we have a new board, so we probably should set up. some
Okay,
time to
well, we
discuss
can
that
give
amongst
you
the
a
board
cost.
and decide how we want to move forward. So. Yeah, that's what I had there. That's all I have.
Okay. Okay, thank you. It's up to you. We can do it now, we can do it later.
We can do it now.
Okay. So, we were working with Rob because we have a project on the list to not replace the door because it's the chain link door for the sheriff, to replace the motor. Well,
This is in the Sally Port.
in the Sally Port, yes. So they had an accident there and dropped the door. That was one of the problems because the door would come down. If you had to pay attention. So if you hit the button, the door wouldn't stop. That was part of the motor, part of the system. We were going to replace that. Well, they had an accident not too long ago and now they basically ruined the door. So we have to replace the door. The door is expensive. The whole project's $25,000 now, not 15, which is what we have in the budget. So I talked to Rob about, maybe we could claim it on insurance because I don't have any extra money to pay for that. And I can't just, and if I wanted to replace the door, I could have pushed the project off because the motor still functioned. Now the motor doesn't function either. We burned up the motor on top of it. So the doors doesn't open. It takes 3 people to open and close the door. And that is a safety issue for the sheriff, for the jail, because they pull through and that door is the chain link door. So you get airflow in the building. So, yeah, I was going to turn it over to the sheriff or turn it over to Rob at insurance. And Rob's, there might be other ideas. So I'll let Rob take it from there.
That's good.
You need a mic, sir?
So Jeff has, I believe, 15,000
Yes.
budgeted, so we need to come up with 10 under any scenario. So if we filed a claim, they said they would consider it. We have a $10,000 deductible, so we still have to come up with $10,000. And then it would count as a claim against the county. Not so sure it's not easier just to find $10,000 in somewhere and then through the supplemental process if we have to, or just find that 10,000. We want to assume the sheriff had it in his budget. That's quite a bit of money. And we should be able to come up with it somehow and not incur a claim against, especially since it was damage caused by us accidentally. So it'd be kind of a double whammy to have a claim mark against us as well as coming up with the same amount of money.
So to me, our choices are on this issue. I know he's talking about finding 10, but the difference is to me 15 because we have a $10,000 deductible. It's $25,000 project now. So we either find more 10,000 more and pay for the whole $25,000 door out of county funds. Or do we file a claim and potentially only pay $10,000 out of county funds and get the insurance to cover the other 15 grand? The negative is too many small claims might jack up your insurance premium. So it's kind of like, your window glass shatters in your car. Do you call Geico? Because you got a $500 deductible and the glass is $650, or do you just pay the $150 and not get your insurance go up? We don't know that it will. cause the insurance to go up, but Skamania is leaving that insurance pool because they only have small claims and their insurance is high because they count everything the same. We're still new. So before I made an executive decision on which way to go, I wanted board input, because if we choose to go through the insurance, there could be ramifications with higher insurance costs later.
I think there's degrees of difference in this case. This is county damage caused by a county employee in an accident as opposed to a third party. And it was a third party claim against the county,
Yeah, and there's some, might be time on a small claim where you want the insurance involved because they're gonna be the ones going after
right,
whoever has to pay.
exactly.
In this regard, we don't need them for that. It's just we might be able to save the county $15,000, but we might end up paying it back next year at premium time.
I think we kind of possibility that this could happen is if we squeeze the budgets, there's not money left over for these kinds of unknown emergencies. Over the years, tighten everybody's budgets.
I would imagine it's early enough in the year that you've budgeted 15. But I can't imagine you couldn't swing 10 out of some other account until supplemental puts it back.
Yeah,
in.
we could swing it out of it for supplemental, yes, but we would still need it at the end.
Yeah,
Yes, we could.
and we would have to come out of non-discretional or reserve or something to make it up.
Return from conference, we have to figure out.
Yeah.
potentially where not to do that in the meantime.
Yeah, it takes a while to get them on order, and again,
Yeah.
right now, the sheriff cannot use it. So what they essentially do is they drive around and back in when
So-
they bring inmates.
Technically, I'm 50-50, turn it in or not turn it in, just pay the money or not turn it in. So I wanted a second opinion or a third opinion, which isn't here. On which way to go with that, because I could go either way.
Do we have time to wait for Jen to see what she says? Or do
The
we-
budget issue, I don't think is a technical issue. The issue to me is whether we want to risk the insurance going up.
Another week
getting
isn't
10 grand
gonna
out of reserve.
Make or
isn't-
break us. Another week and you guys decide.
I mean, are we working to get the door fixed right now? We'll worry about funding later.
We can do that. We haven't done that. No. Because again, I
Got to
don't,
be done one way or the other.
yes.
So I wouldn't hold it up while we figure out
Okay,
which
well,
way.
we could start getting moving forward. I just didn't want to spend money that we don't have. I don't have that authority,
Right.
And I appreciate
unless
that.
you want to change your mind. Give me
Appreciate
that.
that. We'll think about it.
Yes,
But we've got the estimates, we've got.
We can't like not do it for the next 5 years. So
no.
regardless
that's
of
not-
which one we end up deciding who's paying for part of it, it's got to get done. So we might as well move forward with the getting it done. And then if you want to wait for Jen to figure out finance, but we're still going to have policy decision on whether we want to make a claim and risk the insurance going up or not make a claim. That's the policy that we're going to have to come up with the answer of.
We're early in the year for how many more months we have to go for possible insurance.
We will know rate increases in July.
Now in July, 2024 rate increase. So we've only got one small one so far. So we want to be good partners in the pool as well. But I think there's PA and I look at each one. Best appropriate route.
And that insurance pool currently just counts claims. So that's why Skamania left, because all theirs are really small, but they had a big number of claims. So their insurance went up, and we're in our summer meeting, we're gonna discuss whether we want to set that criteria differently. So you don't get hammered for having too many baby claims.
This is the only one so far this year that's been classified self-induced. It can be as opposed to third party. Yes, it needs to be fixed.
Now, we can get started on it, but does that affect it if we go through insurance?
No.
I mean, I would take pictures and stuff first, just in case.
We have all that.
I
stuff.
doubt they.
Okay.
Much like the other
Yeah,
So it's reimbursement.
Well, and
Okay.
especially if it's I think so, especially if it's a safety issue and it's going to be time ordering things.
Yes. Okay, we'll get started on it.
We'll figure out how to pay for it. You just gotta figure out, get it started, take your pictures, and then
We'll get it
decide.
done.
We'll decide which route we're going through next week.
Okay.
Yes.
Works for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, we are a smidge early, but we will move on to department update from Code Compliance Officer George Sendejas.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Jump right into it. Code compliance is currently at 30 open cases. 6 cases have been closed since my department's last update. 5 cases were investigated and found not to violate county code. 1 nuisance case was closed after being brought into compliance, and site inspection verified completion.
What kind of nuisance case was that?
It was
Not location, but what kind?
trash.
Trash accumulation. How long was it an active case?
Less than a month.
Oh, wow, okay. So somebody called something in on them, you notified them, they cleaned it up. It's resolved.
And then I did inspection, close it.
Perfect. Well done, sir.
Site inspection was conducted on property of 600 Sears on Woodland Road. The site inspection focused on a pile of trash placed next to Liberty Road, a neighboring private road. The last inspection showed a reduction in the size of the accumulation of household garbage. On this inspection, bare ground was now visible. Most of what was left was scrap metal and miscellaneous non-perishable items that would not attract wildlife. As mentioned in the last update, the property owner is willing to continue cleanup, but admits having mobility issues that impair or limit the work he can realistically accomplish. During the previous conversation, the property owner agreed to no longer add unsecured trash to the site, which he appears to be complying with. Health issues and financial concerns are the main driving factor in granting the property owner time.
On this one, so you're not seeing any evidence that he might be moving the trash from this location onto a different section of his property?
No.
Okay.
I don't have documented removal of the trash, but I have driven past this property on several occasions. And I'll drive one day and he's, there's a trailer full of trash, and then the next day it'll be gone. So
Again, good job. Next.
on May 16, 2023, a site inspection was conducted on North Lake Drive, showing the installation of fencing posts. As mentioned in the letter sent to the property owner, a form of compliance would be to erect a privacy fence to impede traffic from seeing the junk vehicles. A letter will be sent to the property owner praising his progress, but reminding him of the need of continuous improvement to not resume the clock on the grace period. I haven't seen any vehicles come out of the site, so I don't foresee him removing any of the vehicles that are on the property. It seems like he's
Yeah, this could be a problem later, but if code says all you have to do is have a fence.
yeah. Lem kind of went at it through the approach of like it being a junkyard. And I think he brought in someone from the state, and they looked at it and they weren't worried about the environmental impact. So I did think about going that way again, but it seemed like the first time that the Lem had already looked into it and it didn't really get anywhere.
Right, for me, what it kind of scares me is if 20 years down the road, you have a 20-acre parcel that's so full of hulk vehicles that the guy just walks away. There's nothing salvageable on him anymore. He's
Yeah.
eBayed everything off. And now you have a tax title foreclosure that costs you more money to haul away the junk vehicles that are on it than the property's actually worth. So that one scares me, but if he's not violating the law,
Yeah.
I know years ago I had seen one with vehicles, and the state did have an issue with oils and things.
Yeah.
And so it did come to a cleanup on that one. but-
Yeah, it's a difficult one. And
Do
the
we
price,
have any regulations on junkyard that we inspect and oils and? I mean, do we have anything in our code or they're either allowed or not allowed, or we just build a fence and we don't know they exist?
what comes to mind, it has to go through the state and then they send somebody over and they do the inspection. And then as far as from memory, all that I can recall that the county requires is a privacy fence. So all the vehicles have to be enclosed within the privacy.
So that if they have more than X number of vehicles, they would be considered a junkyard, but that's through the state process, and that would be a complaint to the state if they're operating without a
I
license.
think, yeah, as long as it's run through an LLC, it's the state.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware. And that was, again, from this case, because Lem
Right,
tried
and
to
that's-
run it.
That's the scary part of when they're an LLC, because then they can just walk away from the property and you
Yeah.
can't go after their wealth.
And scrap metal prices right now are like, it's not worthwhile for a lot of people. I'm hoping that gets better, but I honestly I don't know very much about scrapping metal.
Huh, okay.
I attended virtual training provided by Washington Associate of Code Compliance. The training focused primarily on skip tracing, but also covered topics like officer safety, contact techniques, and avenues of enforcement. Since the last training, dates have been scheduled for September training. In the last update, I mentioned a singular day training for the 13th. The update shows the conference was extended from the 13th to the 15th. The course would focus on officer safety, junk vehicle certification, communication skills, and self-management. The training, this last training was really focused on bigger agencies. I don't, and the guest speakers were from Texas, which it sounds like Texas makes their job a lot easier than mine. Yeah, it was good training. Some of the stuff that they were suggesting, I don't think would be legal in Washington State, but it was good to see other people's resources and things that they do. A lot of their departments are also, they have a lot of people in code compliance. They were blown away that I was like one person to a county was like far-fetched to them, but yeah. But it was interesting. I was out of the office from May 1st to the 3rd due to personal reasons. Not sure if you guys have heard anything I had site inspections scheduled for these days and I didn't call, I didn't do it. I totally spaced it. I did call them back and apologize, but if you guys heard about it, that was my fault. I apologize. Yeah.
Personal is personal, sir.
The training later in September, is that focused under Washington law then?
Yes,
Yeah, that's
which I
good.
think would be,
Much more
would be
helpful.
beneficial. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find out with the trainings that even some of them, you're only getting 70%
Yeah.
affects you, but that 70 is a good
Yeah.
70, so, yeah. The only time I worry is on trainings that 10% of it affects us and the other 90 doesn't. And
Yeah.
we have people that attend those trainings. That post.
Yeah, definitely. I'll discuss it later with like housing stuff. So it'll be a 3-day event, so I'll have to.
So
kinda-
yep, check with staff. They will set you all up and tell you how to do everything. You will probably have to, once they get it out, get an agenda. I would imagine it would have to be pre-approved by the board. Are we doing pre-approvals for everybody or they just do their own thing and turn them in afterwards?
I do know the conference kind of linked everything together, so you just pay a certain amount and they cover housing and the training and
That's
Oh,
video and
nice.
everything. So,
That helps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, when you get the information, submit it. We'll look at it, make sure it's good, sign it, then you register and you're good to go.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
And then if you have any questions about other travel or mileage or what's covered or food or what county and what rate or whatever, just ask staff the questions and
Okay,
they'll help you. Perfect. Good job this time, sir.
thank you.
You're growing. I see it.
One day at a time.
Spread your wings, young flower. Yeah, I'm assuming there's a case he needs to come up and is that the same reason out?
They're in the
Uh-oh.
hot seat.
So Lynn has received a resignation for one of her employees and we are requesting permission to requesting verbal permission for the building plans examiner. Steps 1 through 3, it's going to be vacant in a couple weeks.
Couple of months.
Couple months.
It'll be here until middle or end of August.
Is this the recent new?
Yes, they're moving to Arizona.
So it's.
Tell him no.
I did, but.
No.
No, he'll be here till the middle or end of August. I would like a few weeks of overlap if I find a good candidate. Just so they can, be a little more comfortable before it's just them doing it, but, he let me know ahead of time, hasn't given me the written yet. But they're tentatively scheduled to move between the middle and end of August.
So do you have a firm date?
Not yet.
So how are you gonna do the couple weeks if you don't have a firm date?
I just know it'll be middle to end of August.
So a couple weeks might be 2, it might be 4, because you don't know.
But if possible, I would like to post now, get it out there because it's probably gonna take a while to find someone suitable.
Do you have a problem with
No,
allowing extra staff to cover that 2 to 4 week transition period?
no. And Lynn will get closer when he submits his
Yeah,
letter. You'll-
yeah.
I'd
When I
No
like
more than
go-
4. No more than 4 weeks.
overlap.
Yeah, 2 to 4, it wouldn't be longer.
Okay, I can do that.
And once I get his written, timeline, then I can know more of what a start date would be for the new person if I find someone. If I'm lucky enough to find someone.
Okay. Yeehaw.
Okay, thank you.
Really?
Dropping like
Arizona?
flies.
Aw,
It's hot down there.
he could commute.
Right? It's like 105 degrees down there. He'll be back.
Thank you.
We're way early on our
Yes,
morning
we
schedule.
are.
I mean, there's extra time in there because I'm sure we have executive with landfill discussion. If you'd like to do it this morning, we can.
Sure.
That way it gives us some afternoon planning.
Yes,
Um,
and that's kind of pressing.
let's just 15 minutes sound adequate for a start?
Sure.
Before I do it, I'll get my clock ready. All righty, so with that, we are gonna end the morning work session for the public. We are gonna go into executive session in accordance with RCW 42.30.110, paren 1, paren I. Paren D. To review negotiations on the performance of public bid contracts when the public knowledge regarding such consideration would cause the likelihood of increased costs. We're gonna go in for 15 minutes. We are not going to have any business after executive. We will just recess for lunch. So everybody else, we will just see you back here at 1 o'clock. And to staff, I don't mind if you want to literally shut the Zoom off, or if you want to just shut the mic and the cameras